Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, obviously, you can attack your opponent a lot of different ways, and something that we've wanted to do a lot in the past, and just haven't had the depth. Where a year ago, if Jay or Callie gets nicked up, like now you're looking at a real tough spot. Now we've got the ability to play in that as much as we want.
You guys talked about how Miles had more pass catching skills and understanding of what he could do when he first came on campus. Where has he made the improvement, the most improvement, to where he can contribute and do the things like he did the other night?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing from him from day one was just confidence and knowing that, like, man, you do belong at this level, you do belong at the next level, and trusting that and going and attacking it that way. I think Saturday was great for him to get some production. I think there's still more, and kind of just scratching the surface of what you can see from him.
Adam and Casey. Coach Heupel said he really wanted to use the tight ends, 12 personnel, and other ways. But if you look back to the offseason, you had 2 new players there, and you had an inexperienced player there. What did you think as a young coach about that big job, that big responsibility?
Yeah, I mean, one, I think going back to the spring and even fall camp, like the work that the new guys did investing into learning this thing made it really easy, where you were able to continue to put stuff on their plate. And I know I was trying to be sly and not exactly say exactly what we were working on, but man, that was a huge part of what we were able to get really through the summer and fall camp and even spring ball, just because they did such a good job investing into the base stuff that you felt comfortable putting it on their plate. I think the other side of it is anytime you got a chance to be playing more guys, that naturally kind of motivates guys to invest and learn it.
Ahead of the first game, I saw that Miles, Holden, and Ethan all have a 3-way handshake. How have you kind of seen their bond play to the success of the room in these first 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. Obviously, with the tempo, you're going to play multiple guys, and I think everybody kind of understood that coming in. It starts with having great human beings in the room, and we've got a room full of awesome human beings that get excited for each other, root for each other, coach each other. It's really cool to be around that group because of the way they support each other. And it's a bar set by Jay, a year ago, and really has carried into this group as well.
Kind of piggybacking off of Adam's question, and I know everybody's different, but was there anything you took from how you taught the system to Castles a year ago as a transfer that you incorporated, or you adjusted to how you taught these 2 transfers coming in to speed that process up?
Not radically different in any way. I think every guy is going to be different in how they learn, and some guys, nobody ever comes in and says, hey, I learn best by sitting and hearing it on a PowerPoint presentation, but there is a level of work that goes into it, and understanding that the more you can attack reps full speed, the faster it happens for you. When you're out there thinking and trying to be perfect all the time, it makes it really tough. I think those guys just, man, whether they were right or wrong, from day one, we're going to attack at full speed, and I think that accelerates the learning process. But as far as stuff that we did differently, not a whole lot, honestly.
Kind of continuing this theme, it looks like you've got 2 transfers that are new and a second-year player. They look like they've been in the offense for years now. Have they even exceeded your expectations and just kind of how smoothly they've operated and handled all their responsibilities?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think there's always more. Like, there's always another step to it, and I think the guys were really happy about how they played and performed on Saturday, but at the same time, they all understand that, it's week 3. There's a long season ahead with a lot of good teams that we have to continue to get better every week, and they're ready to do that.
When you're recruiting and you're pitching, the ability to get the ball to the tight ends, incorporating the tight ends, and then the first 2 games, all 3 of your tight ends have touchdown catches. I mean, how much easier does that make you being able to go back to those recruits and go see?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly helps. I think, with this cycle, we fight production a lot, and a year ago we were second in the league in touchdowns and had 2 guys that both had fairly productive seasons. Even through spring, you kind of could see what was coming in a lot of ways as far as our ability to be weapons in the pass game. And, through the summer, you're obviously selling that in recruiting, but I think everybody's going to sell, we're going to get the ball to the tight end and we're going to produce. And It's one thing to talk about, it's another thing for it to show up on Saturday, and I am fired up that those guys have had the success they've had so far.
How are those top three guys doing in reading, reacting, and adjusting either pre-snap or post-snap to what is asked of them based on just knowledge and the work that they put in?
Yeah, to be honest with you, that's one of the areas where we've got to grow and get better. I think, a couple of the reads we made in the past game, we can make a different read. It's never going to be perfect, and a lot of times, there's gray area where you try to make it as black and white as you can, but at the end of the day, they've got to go execute and make a decision. That's certainly something pre-snap, post-snap this week. I think in the core, there was a lot of stuff that they had to kind of figure out on the fly, and thought they did a really good job handling that.
NC State obviously mentioned after the game that they had not seen 12 personnel on film. In the offseason, did you feel like you were keeping a secret, or that you had to, because you would allude to it a little bit, but you wouldn't say it?
Yeah, there's times when it's the absolute best thing. You want to be in it. It gives you a real advantage X and O's wise, and certainly don't want to help anybody prepare for something that you feel is going to be really good against them. And we've had the ability to go in it for a long time. So I guess in some way we've been keeping it a secret by not putting it on tape, but it's not been a secret around our building at all.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.